Hey everyone, this is a little bit of an oracle reading we're going to be doing today. This is actually my folklore deck. This is one of my newer ones that we're doing. And I decided to do like a little bit of an oracle reading just to see what the collective needs to hear at this time. So if you guys are seeing this video and it's popped up on your page, I'll say that this may be meant for you. If you wish to receive a reading, then feel free to listen along and watch and see what happens. If you guys don't want a reading, feel free to go ahead and scroll on by, exit out the video. That's totally okay. For those who stay, this is the Moonstone Island deck. Kind of looks like this. And we'll be doing a little bit of a reading just to see what happens. Just to see what the collective need to hear in all of this. And maybe what's going on once you see this video. This could be something that comes up that maybe something's occurring in life. And you feel like you need some sort of guidance. Something in life with guidance. Saw this one jump. Some sort of guidance in life where maybe you're unsure. I feel like it's like unsure. Maybe something unsure. Got that one. Oh, I just saw that one was out. So, like, you'll get that one out. And I feel like there's maybe another one or two cards. Oh, that one kind of jumped at me. Let's see. This one. And is there anything else the collective needs to hear in this reading? Top one. That one. Okay. So, like I said, this is a new deck for me, so it's going to be a little bit of looking at the book to see exactly what's being said and then coming to the thoughts of what it all is. But we're going to go through each of these cards individually just so you guys can see. I'm going to move this camera so you guys can actually kind of see what we're looking at. Make sure you guys are seeing everything. So I feel like this needs to go here, that, and then we've got one there. Something like this. And basically what I'm going to do is we're going to go top, bottom, right. Boop, 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 boop. And we're just going to go from there and we'll see what happens. So our first card is the scissors. On the card it says, this is what it looks like. It says, shape something new or cut away the excess. So scissors, you're going to always have kind of like this, both of the cut away, but also you've got to shape into something new. Now, let's kind of take a look and see what all is going on. So, we've got some, what I would say, this card for scissors, excuse me, is the idea that scissors act as a way to either create something, like when you do a craft project. This is something that it would be for me, like you're cutting yarn away or you're cutting a piece of fabric. And you're creating something new. And then but then scissors also cut away excess. So when you're cutting out like a sticker and it may be this big on a piece of paper, so you're going to have to cut around it to get rid of that excess. And for this, I'm thinking this is actually pointing towards an excess, something that no longer needs to be there, and that's something that you need to remove. And it's the idea of like when you cut it away, you're going to open that door to some sort of magic and abundance that you see, but you have to cut it away and be able to basically recycle or get rid of that excess and basically transform and live that into the new fashionable design. Now we have healing herbs as the next card, which I'll hold right here. So this one is. And it says, what practical magic rises from within? Now, healing herbs for me, herbs is always like it's a physical item, like lavender or a rose or something. You have this kind of stuff that can be used as a healing property. Let's see the kind of what's going on. So I think this card right here, especially because we were just talking about the excess, and I feel like this next card is going to be kind of another, like, got to get rid of this sort of stuff. This healing herbs is like a reminder for you. And this is something that maybe you don't realize what you end up doing. But as you look at healing herbs, like I said before, roses and lavender, how they can be used, like lavender can be used to help you fall asleep, for example. You can use this to create kind of that softening. Like some people do like a lavender bag they put under their pillow to fall asleep. For this is kind of, each of us have this kind of internal healing ideas in your head because of the people who've came before you. They call it ancient, but this could be like ancestors in a way. This could be your soul traveling through lifetimes. But you have ways in your life that you heal because of who you are. And it could be stuff that you gravitate towards. Now, I'm not talking about stuff that you do in excess or stuff that you do that may give you the dopamine hit or a serotonin, like a dopamine hit, like immediately, but afterwards you feel like crap. This is something that, like, this will heal you for whatever you're going through. This could be like you gravitate towards taking a bath. And because it's that kind of an idea of sitting in a bath and just kind of, taking a deep breath with the candles down and you're just kind of chilled out and you relax back, that sort of stuff. Or perhaps you like taking a walk, like you have a nice nature trail that basically lets you escape from the world, the mundane, the whole work and home life. You kind of go out and take a walk just to take a breather. That's actually kind of a medicine that you use to help yourself. And this feels like, this is kind of like you've got like this is what you need to do, and there's some healing, and then some kind of reminder here. And that's what I'm thinking that this is getting at for you, especially coming after something where it's like you're either creating something new or you're cutting away the excess, or you need to cut the excess away from the new. And you're doing this, it may throw this as a curveball to you, and it could hit you hard. It's one of those that could just boom get you. So this sort of, the healing herbs is that reminder that you do have the aspect in you that you can do to heal, to take a step back and heal yourself. The next one we have is Will-O the Wisp. It says, will you follow foolish fire or your heart's true knowing? So this is what it looks like. That's this card. So that will be there. Now this one is kind of the idea of like trying to chase after something that's no longer giving you that, but I'll double check. So yeah. So like this book is based on folklore. Like I said, this is new. I bought this because of the design on it and the idea of the folklores that surround it. This one actually is a folklore aspect. Will-O the Wisp, which is kind of like this character would be meeting you. And this is the type of character that can either be a very curious being trying to figure out where you're going, or it's one that's going to test you. And this feels like, which is where that question comes up, will you follow foolish fire or will you go through your heart's knowing? And this could mean this feels like maybe there's a guide And this might be where it comes to the kind of cut off sort of situation, cutting away. Because this is talking about a figure. This is someone who you may trust without even questioning them. Or maybe most of your life you didn't even question them because, you know, they're really intelligent, or they really care for you, or sort of stuff like that. And you never thought to question them until like recently. And that's because there's something in you that wants to do more, and that they could be one of the ones that hold you back. They're kind of one of the ones that would rather you stay stuck in a certain position or a place, or have you come back to a certain place or position, because you kind of just you can follow willy-nilly. And this is kind of asking you to follow your true heart. What's in your heart that wants you to go after it? What's that part of you that's like, you know, I want to make this happen, and I want to, like, you know, go after it and bring it into being. And it's basically giving you a crossroad or two hands. And I'll symbolize it like this: the will-o'-the-wisp. And because the magic words seem to be what's going in, I'm going to put this here. Your will-o'-the-wisp is this way of what you already know, or what you've already been taught. And perhaps this good part that you're after, this part that you really are interested in, maybe the fear that you have here is impacting what's over here, which is basically, like I'm showing right now, covers up what you really want. And it's giving you the option whether you continue to follow this, as they call it, foolish fire, or do you go after something you really want? And how do you go after that? How do you go after something you really want after being told other ways, or not, it's not the right way? How do you go after that? And like I kind of hinted at, this next card is magic words. What are you speaking into being? And I can already tell you, like, with this card, what's coming to my mind is the idea that when you're talking aloud, or even when you're talking to yourself, you're saying different things aloud. And even your mind will say things too. And the thing is, the universe, God, any deity, whoever you prescribe to, subscribe, however you want to call it, they listen out. And they listen for, what do you really want? What do you really desire? And what are you trying to speak into being? When you're sitting here going, oh, my life sucks, and, you know, I'm a horrible person, and you're kind of into the rut of your own mind, this can make your situation seem like it is that bad. But seeing the idea of, you know, I'm going to be a best-selling author, or I'm going to, you know, I write so well that many people come and read my books. Or, for example, like YouTube. There are many people who my videos reach out to, and I create a loving community. This type of saying aloud is what I would want to be brought into being. So this is posing the question to you, what do you want to be brought in? What needs to be brought in for you? Now I'm also going to double check. So I feel like reading this is, I'm going to read this kind of diving deeper, which is for this card, for the magic words, just because I think it's interesting. It says, the utterance of magic words is a journey of manifestation, a reflection of our deep desire to call forth transformation from the wellspring of our intentions. We are linguistic alchemists, casting spells or reciting prayers with every sentence. How would you speak to yourself if you truly believed that words were magical? So if you truly believed in your life that the words that you say, my cord came up, but you truly believe every word you say is magical, just like a prayer, or just like a spell, or just like when you're reading something. If you truly believe the words are magical and your breath looked like this, what would you be saying to yourself? It's a hard one. The next one is the fairy ring. So this is the fairy ring, and it says, how do you get to fairyland? Now, fairyland for this is the idea that places that you get lost in, and the idea of something you can travel to kind of get away from the noise of the mundane. And the idea that you kind of use it as a way to take, well, there went the book. But it's kind of used as a way to disappear. Like when you step into a fairy ring, it's the belief that when you step into a fairy ring, the fae can take you away. This is what it's asking you, is that area of your life that you kind of take away. Which this honestly could be tied like that. Where you've got these kind of going on. This is kind of the reminder. I would almost do it like this. Put the magic words over here. Simply because this fairy ring is asking what you can get lost in. And something like, for me, the idea of getting lost in music or playing my clarinet is the kind of the healing energy for me. It's kind of the whole healing herb I use as quotations. And it's something that I get lost in to help. But there is a caution when it comes to the fairy ring. As this card was talking about what heals you, and I cautioned with it being, you know, not stuff that gives you the dopamine hit and then doesn't really help you in any way. This is there's a caution here that you don't get lost in it. That this type of escape doesn't turn into escapism, where you kind of use it as a way to get away from the world, to not, see reality, or to not even really take hold of what all's going on. And let me tell you, I've gotten this card for me. I understand sometimes you might find it easier to kind of escape into something else because life may be not going exactly how you want it, or perhaps there's something you really don't want to face right now, so it's easier to just kind of go, look at this, look at something else. And this is something that, it can be beneficial, but if you too get lost into it, you need to bring yourself back out. You need to go through and figure out what you need to face. And with this collective, the needing to face is what needs to be cut away with the scissors, and then what do you follow your true heart's knowing, or do you follow the foolish fire of the people before you? And this is kind of a crossroads here. And it's basically, if you put them on top of each other, that's what you would need to do, like the scissors. You're putting at a crossroad whether you continue to follow the person in your life that may tell you this a certain way, and it's kind of the internal belief that you have. Do you cut away the excess and bring in something new? Do you bring in that life that you want, especially with those magic words? If you have a life that you really want, and let's say you do cut away, but you're like, how in the world do I even get to something new? Well, take a stab at trying magic words, for example. These magic words, you're speaking into being. This will help you bring in what you want or what you think needs to come in for you. So, we've got some little bit of advice, a little bit of what you need to do, and kind of forward planning, and some cautionary things here and there. But that is the reading we have today. So if this finds you, this is kind of what we are discussing today. And yeah, hopefully this helps you for those who do stick around. And if you have, feel free to give a like, just kind of let me know what all's been going on. Just to kind of be like, yeah, this is good reading, I'm Heather, the Sunflower Witch. You probably just kind of give a little bit of introduction. I do various things between doing tarot readings, but I also do bookish content. I do gaming. I do story times. It's just kind of a little bit of other different things that I like to do. So welcome. And if you stick around, then I guess I'll see you guys in the next episode. If not, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.